Hey, welcome back to B&B Talk. It's Paul. Don't forget to do me a favor and hit the subscribe button. So we got a really interesting episode, so I'm going to jump right into it. First thing we see is Steffy talking to Liam about the question he posed her about if she's responsible for Ivy's death. And she said she doesn't know how to answer it. And Liam says that, of course, you would know or you wouldn't know. And he basically asked her to stop skirting the question. He asked her if she caused Ivy's death. And Steffy says yes. She says Allie fell because she hit her on the head with a tire iron. She thought that she was telling the police the truth when she told them, but it was still self-defense. She said in that moment where the police asked her, it was almost a knee-jerk reaction the way she answered, and she felt that she was telling them the truth. So she kind of says that she's confused about it. And she said that Ivy saw the whole thing and has it on video, and she's threatening to use it against her. Now Liam is outraged. He asks how Ivy could just do this on her own. He thinks that Wyatt is the one that is actually pushing the buttons, but Steffy says it's not Wyatt pushing the buttons, it's Ivy on this one. And Liam takes off to actually get some answers. Now after that we see Wyatt, and he is afraid that Ivy wants Liam back. He's afraid that she went to Liam and hinted that Steffy was responsible so that Liam would get outraged, and then he would tell Steffy he needed time to cool off, and then he would run right back to Ivy. And Ivy says that that's not the truth and that she wants to be with him because Wyatt says he doesn't want to do this dance with his brother again, the back and the forth. So Wyatt reminds her that, you know, what happens when secrets have been kept, and he uses Maya as an example, and he tells her, you know, he was right in the middle of that one. Now, Ivy asks Wyatt if he thinks that she's got a split personality, and of course everybody, you guys are all saying yes you do. And she also references basically tricking Liam into marrying her. Now what she's alluding to is the writer's trying to make her interesting. So if that's a split personality, alright, so be it. And Wyatt kind of, he doesn't really give her an answer. That's the way I saw it. I mean, at first he's says, don't we all, or isn't everybody around here have that? That doesn't really sound like, no honey, you don't have a split personality. So I think he does think that she has a split personality. Now after that we see Caroline, and she's talking to Thomas. She asks Thomas if he's brought the matter with Steffy up to his dad, and Thomas says no, because his dad doesn't listen. Now Caroline wants him to open up, but he says, basically, if I tell you, it's like telling Rich. And she pretty much vows to keep it a secret. And then Thomas starts to get into it, and he said that he feels like he doesn't know his sister anymore. He said before they used to be in step. Without even saying words, he'd know exactly what she was thinking, but now he doesn't. And he tells her that Steffi's being blackmailed by Ivy, and he tells her that Ivy has video proof and she's threatening to use it. So Caroline's really concerned. You can almost tell that she's gotten almost too much information, because now she's got the dilemma of whether to keep it from Ridge or not. And being as important it is, I think that's going to weigh on her. Now, we also see Katie and Ridge, and when Katie gets stood up by Bill, she runs into Ridge and they end up having lunch together. And she asks about the kids, and Ridge says, well, he knows that they're keeping a secret from him. And he says that although Thomas is mad at him, he doesn't think that he would do anything like steal something for him. And he's referencing the paranoia Eric used to have about Ridge stealing Brooke from him. So that sort of seeps its way into things. So we know it's planting a seed that that is actually going to happen to poor Ridge. I'm sorry to say it, but I think so. And then Katie asks if his kids are whispering maybe about Caroline. Maybe something's going on with Caroline. And he says no, they're not actually whispering about it. They just don't know what they're talking about. And then the last thing we see is we see Liam, and he goes over to Wyatt's place, and he sees Wyatt and Ivy together for the first time. He doesn't even knock, he actually just walks in. And but he says, you know, he wishes them nothing but the best. But then he goes after them for, you know, blackmailing Steffy, and he says that he wants to see the video. And Ivy tells him that she wouldn't have had a job for much longer because Steffy's in power, and he said, you know, she goes on about Steffy having everything, so she's trying to justify this. She's also saying that she's doing it for Allie. And she says that seeing Steffy hauled off in handcuffs wouldn't have been good for the company, so she sort of uses this as a way of justifying not leaking it to, or taking it to the police. And Liam just wants to see the video, so he does watch the video, and you know what happens. He watches the video and he's stunned, absolutely stunned, and it doesn't look good for Steffy. And at that point, Ivy jumps in and calls it murder, and that's where we leave things off. So really interesting episode. It's Paul, it's B&B Talk. Don't forget to follow us on social media. Have a good day, and I can't wait for tomorrow's episode.